this morning. And the darts is back, Steve. Gedwin Price starting the defence of his title tonight.
Indeed. If anything's going to make you feel Christmassy, it's the PDC World Darts, which will end actually on January the 3rd. So,
gosh, it's a long stretch, isn't it?
It is. And for Gedwin Price, he basically plays tonight, starts the defence of his title, as you say, and then comes home for Christmas and goes back to Alexandra Palace after some festivities. Hopefully, fingers crossed, he is the world #1, of course. He says victory this year would also be sweeter with a crowd, including friends and family, at the venue. Of course, last year there were none because of COVID. He plays Peter Hudson or Richie Edhouse tonight. We've got Johnny Clayton involved, in fact 5 Welshmen. Let's speak to Dylan Williams, who runs the Darts Cymru social media account. He's on the line. Good morning, Dylan.
Hiya, morning, Steve.
Are you as excited as Claire and I are about this? I'm sure you are.
Oh, definitely. You know, like you said, it's not Christmas without the darts, and as you said, there are 5 Welshmen heading to Alexandra Palace this year, which is something we should sort of celebrate, because it's the biggest sort of squad of players we've ever sent to the championship. And you know, looking at their opening fixtures, all 5 have great chances of progressing.
And Gedwin Price obviously is going to be a favourite. But having said that, I think only 3 other players have ever successfully defended the title, so he is up against it in that respect.
Definitely, and you know, I think this year's field is probably one which has sort of barriers, hurdles, hazards, whatever you want to call it. There are dangers from everywhere. And you know, Gedwin has come out and said, you know, the first game is always the toughest in the World Championships. It's a matter of, you know, getting that win, and like you said, head back to Markham for Christmas, enjoy Christmas, recharge the batteries, and then he'll come back on the 27th, and you know, the tournament really gets going then.
Yeah, not looking too far ahead, but he could be playing Price Sherrock when he goes back, and that would be quite a tie, wouldn't it? I mean, that would be something that would grab lots of headlines.
It would be, you know. I think both players are known as sort of box office players. You mentioned the crowd in your introduction. You know, I think a crowd would have a massive part to play in that game. You know, Gedwin obviously won the tournament last year with an empty hall, but it would have a different dynamic this year, you know, with crowds back. I'd like to think that Gedwin has sort of developed his mindset over the last 12 months. I think he's much more resilient, and you know, we're all aware of the type of darts he can throw, and I'm sure if he did come up against Fallon, his quality would actually pull him through.
And Johnny Clayton has had a great 2021, so he's got a chance as well. I think a quarter-final, all Welsh quarter-finals are a possibility, is that right?
Unfortunately, it is, Steve, yes. The way the seedings work, Gedwin's obviously #1. With Johnny's success, it's seen him rise to #8 in the world. So they're in the same bracket in the draw. So if they were to win their first 3 games, we'd have an all-Welsh quarter-final, which is a big shame in my opinion, because I think, you know, 95% of the darting world would say it's probably the ideal final, the final we'd all want to see at this stage. But I suppose if both of them get to the quarters, at least we're guaranteed a Welshman in the semi-final then.
And briefly, why is Welsh darts on such a high at the moment, would you say?
You know, definitely, I'd say we're in a golden age. You know, people. You obviously mentioned there are 5 players in this tournament. A youngster, Louis Williams, 19. You know, the success Gedwin and Johnny are having now on a regular basis is definitely sort of, you know, the next generation are coming through. They're seeing success, and I think people are just, you know, falling in love with darts again. It's always been a hotbed for darts in Wales, and I think this continued success that Gedwin and Johnny are having is just going to take us to a completely different level in terms of the next playing generation, but also raising the status of the game in Wales.
Dylan, enjoy it. Thanks very much. Have a good Christmas too. And Claire, get your polyester shirt on, ready for tonight.
I'm ready. Do you know, my maths becomes so good, Steve, when I sit there watching the darts. Just adding it all up and taking it all away, you know, it improves for the short time it's on. I'm very much looking forward to it. Thank you very much, Steve. Let's